Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today to talk to you about squash. This is what I am going to cover. Demonstrate on how to play a squash drop shot and a lob. The items I use while playing a squash game. Where I've played and going to play in the future. And also how much I play during a week. The first thing that I'll talk to you about is how to play a drop shot and a lob. First of all, you have your racket in your hand. In between your thumb and your forefinger, you put that around the racket. So in the middle of it, it runs right up and around the racket. So that's when you know when you have the right grip. So the first step to do is have your racket right up. Your shoulders should always be parallel to the wall, which is on the side. If you're doing a forehand drop shot, you always use your front foot, which is your left foot. If you're doing a right hand drop shot, you push into it and just swing through and stop there. The best way to do a drop shot is if you step forward and push into the wall, because the tighter it is into the wall, the better. So if I was turning around onto the backhand, I'd use my right foot because it's my front foot, and I'd step through and just push it through into the wall. If I was going for a right hand lob, I would step through because it's still my front foot, and I'd go through like that, and instead of dropping it, I'd just flick my wrist, which would mean that the ball would hit high up on the wall and go right to the back of the court. The items I use is, of course, this racket here. It's a Black Knight Chameleon. I got it for $300. It's 135 grams, which is pretty light. The grip I use is Pro Connects, which means that when I hold my grip in my hand, it molds into my hand, so whenever I pick it up again, it just goes straight into my grip. So there's no worrying around going like that to make it go back around. This other racket here, I used at the start of the year. This is what I see quite a lot, broken strings. The strings cost $50 to get restrung each time. And the night I broke this racket, the strings, my mum got a bit angry at me and got a couple of hits with this racket. But I was playing a shot down the wall on my forehand and just snapped it, and it actually snapped up the top here and then went home and smashed it on the ground. So that's why it's in pieces. These two balls here, you either play for single dot, as you can see. That's for about F grade and up to C grade. And then, but since I'm past that grade now, I play for double dot. Double dot means it's just a slower ball. It dies a lot quicker because the single dot is a lot more faster. So that's just for the higher grades. These glasses I use, I have to use these in every junior tournament that I play in, because the size of this ball can actually fit into your eye socket, and if it's got enough pace it can actually pull your eye out. So I've got to wear these glasses, but the bad thing about them is that they fog up, and it means you can't see the ball, so in between every rally after you've had a big game you got to clean them. But that's why I normally use a sweatband only when I use these glasses, just so I can take them off and just wipe around my eyes, just so it prevents my glasses fogging up. I also use this here, it's anti-flame. I use it because it makes my legs better to get around the court with. It also prevents any swelling if I have a big game or anything, so that's alright. Places I've played up in Auckland at the start of this year. I played in the New Zealand Open, New Zealand C grade under 19s, and I ended up winning that, so I've got a New Zealand title. I also played up in Auckland a little while after that in New Zealand Champs. And then I played in Wellington a couple of weeks ago. But the places I'm going to play in the future, I've been selected to play in Australia next year and Malaysia next year, so that should be pretty good. How many times a week I play? I play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So I play 5 times a week, and I'm based around normally doing my training in Caddy, but I've also got training in Rotorua and Tauranga.